Hey there, welcome back to another episode of the Organized-ish Parent Podcast. And you're listening to the last episode of 2025. Can you believe it? It's crazy. So today we're talking about something that hits every mom, especially at this time of year. And that is why your habits don't stick and why waiting for January is the worst strategy ever. Now, I want to plant this seed right now before the new year hype hits, because the truth is your habits don't fail because you're inconsistent. They fail because life gets heavy and the habit was built too big. Let's get into it. Every year, we all do the same thing. We'll start January 1st with a new planner, a new game plan, a new strategy, new energy. But then mid-January comes by and within 3 weeks, the wheels fall off. We're derailed. We fall off the track completely. Why? Because January is fantasy life. Let me just repeat that so it sinks in. January is fantasy life. And February is where it's the real deal. That's when everything really starts, because school schedules kick back in, kids' activities are exploding, work demands are on the rise, and suddenly the habit you were so committed to doing months before, back in November and December, like right now at the recording of this episode, it becomes impossible to maintain. My friend, this is normal, and it's not a personal flaw. So a couple of years ago, I had joined a master's swim class. And listen, I am not a swimmer at all. If anything, I sink to the bottom. So as I started swimming, the first lap, great, no problem. However, the second lap, no. I was dying and looking for that marker that's at the bottom of the pool, like that T. I was just looking for that, grasping for air and just doing whatever I could to get to the other side. In other words, I was panic swimming. And my coach said something that I will never forget, and that was, when you're overwhelmed, your body gets back to what is familiar. And it got me thinking, and this is perfect about this time of year because that applies to habits too. So the moment life ramps up, your default is survival mode, and the new habit gets dropped. Not because you're weak, because the habit itself wasn't designed for real life, real busy mom life. Listen, we build habits that look good on paper, but they don't fit into the life we're actually living. Why? Because there's just too many steps. There's too much prep and honestly, a lot of pressure coming from all places, especially what's between our ears, up there in our head. So of course, it'll all collapse. You built January energy into a February schedule. So instead of building the perfect habit, we build the smallest version of that habit. How? Choose one lifestyle habit, not a routine, not a full overhaul, one single thing. So examples of this is a 10-minute evening reset. What does that look like? It could just be straightening out the living room back to what it looked like before anyone has sat down. Basically, something that looks like as if you were going to have guests coming over, like that. Nothing's on the floor, blankets are folded, pillows are where they're supposed to be placed, and the coffee table, if you have one, or side table, is clear of clutter. And this can be done by other members of the family, not necessarily yourself. So let's keep it simple, all right? 10-minute evening reset. Another example is prepping lunches for Monday to Wednesday. Now, I started this schedule recently because for me, making salads for 5 days for myself and sometimes my daughter, and now my husband has joined in, that's a lot of prep work and that's a lot of space that's going to take in the fridge, right? Especially for a family of 5 who have leftovers from time to time. So a simple schedule for me is just keeping it for the first 3 days for making salads for myself, my husband, and sometimes a lunch option for my daughter if she wants. Another example is starting laundry before school drop off or before you start your day. That has been a total game changer for us since way back, I figure since 2015, I think. And the result of that is we're never running out of clothes. And a final example I have for you is reviewing the week every Sunday night. I do this for myself with my planner and what I have for my business coming up, and also with our family at the beginning of the week, either a Monday or a Sunday. We sit down during supper time and discuss what's going on for the rest of the week, even though it could be the same as the week before, but it's always good to check in with everybody just in case and making a habit of that. Step number 2, shrink that lifestyle habit into the tiniest visible action. So for instance, if you want to work out 4 times a week and you've never done this before, or you've kind of been inconsistent with the workout like me, start with 10 minutes of movement every single day. Just try. If you want cleaner evenings, start with clearing the kitchen island or counters before the end of the night or after a meal. If you want calmer mornings, prep backpacks the night before. And don't forget, the kids can always help out with this too, right? It doesn't all have to fall on you. So basically what I'm saying is make it almost laughable, like an easy win that you're laughing at how easy and simple this is. Step number 3, attach all of this to something you already do, like coffee. What's the next thing you can do right after that's connected to that? Right after dinner, clearing out the island or the counters. When you walk in from dropping the kids off, start the load in the laundry. Or maybe you did it right before, and that's great. Now, the reason here is because there's no motivation required, just rhythm. Step number 4 is add accountability or visibility. This is where habits actually stick. So just a personal story here, and it's a little bit touching about why I have to make salads for myself more often during the week. So if you've been following me at all, you know I've been in this cardiometabolic program for most of 2025. Nothing serious, everything's okay. And my doctor had recommended this. So I know science, I have a science background, I've studied nutrition, so I pretty much know what to do. My whole issue was never about knowledge, it was follow through, sticking to a routine. My plan was always solid, but my execution sucked. So in my last session with the nutritionist, it kind of got me thinking afterwards, you know what, I need to stop planning for a perfect schedule and a perfect, I don't know what, 5 on 5, but to plan it so that it's real for my life. So I chose one habit, which was making salads, but this time it was 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's it. And guess what? It stuck. At the time of this recording, it's been about a month, a little over than a month that I've been doing this, and it's been good. The extra motivation here is that, you know, like how I said my husband was in on it too. Well, he only joined in afterwards. So initially I was making the salads just for myself and my daughter sometimes. But now because my husband's in on it too, it's that extra accountability, that motivation for me to really stick to the schedule. So this is pretty much what phase 1 looks like. Small, achievable, repeatable. Now, I want you to think about the habit that you want in 2026. Not the polished version, not the ideal version, the phase 1 version. And when you have it, I encourage you to either write it down, drop it in the comments wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast episode, or if you're bold enough, always, is to post it on social media and tag me. And if you aren't that bold, but you want that accountability, of course, you can always send me a private message on DM, on Facebook, or on Instagram. I'm always there. So I really want to encourage you to do this and start 2026 on the right foot. So if you're wondering what to write for me, you can just send a text to me and say, here's the habit that I want to achieve, but I don't know what phase 1 is exactly. Or here's the habit, I just don't know what step 1 should be. And I'll help you identify your phase 1. So remember, you don't need to put this on social media. You can totally just DM me. It's just me reading my messages. All right, my friend. Like I said before, this is my final episode before the holidays. I'm taking this short break to rest, reset, and get some really good things ready for you in January, where we'll be kicking off the new year with clarity, intention, and simple routines that actually stick. And also remember, small wins count, especially at this busy time of the year. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy the holidays, rest up, spend time with the people that you love and that light you up, and also be kind to yourself. That's super important. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and I will see you January 8th. Bye-bye.